Hi everyone and welcome to my place. I have had requests from all around the world, we're so global here at Astar's Place, wanting to know how to put tall flowers together. Well, here is an example of a tall arrangement, and the reason I love this type of designing is because it almost looks like I went to the garden and picked and then plonk them into a vase. This is what I really like, a really lovely informal type of arrangement. Now please don't be scared about putting things like this together because it's really easy. So let me just turn this around and show you what we're going to be looking at, and I will show you how easy that is to put together. Now I'm using artificial flowers because this is actually for in my lounge, and I've got just the perfect place to put this, but I just love how the flowers have just all been placed so that they just all drip and just fall out. So give me a moment, I'll strike the design and I'll show you how to do it, and I call this my handheld method of producing an arrangement into a tall container. So I'll be back in a moment. Okie dokie, let's get started. Right, I've got 2, 4, 6 big beautiful leaves here. Now I'm using artificial because I want this to last long term because I'm a bit busy and I don't have time to do lots of flowers. Now the flowers that I'm using they're all water stem, which means that they are able to be put into a vase of water. I do this all of the time. I use fresh and artificial together, and normally people can't, unless they're up close, they can't tell that they're fresh or artificial anyway. So I've got the 6 leaves. I've also got 5 stems of Wisteria. Now if you've ever tried to do an arrangement with this, you'll know that it lasts about 5 seconds before they all start to drip, and it's very, very hard to get really long stems, so artificial for me is going to fit the bill. So I've got those, and I've got 3 orchids. You could use more orchids if you've got them, but that's all I had. Plus I've got the 3 stems of the lilies. Now when I say I do a lot of fresh and artificial together, because the leaves, I can always get access to fresh leaves. The wisteria, well, you know, it sometimes it lasts, sometimes it doesn't. Usually I can get access to fresh orchids, but if I can't, the artificial will do. And once I've got all these components together, I can actually either use the fresh or the artificial lilies, and it's just a matter of taking those in and out as I need them. And my little cheats way is that once I've done any kind of design, when I put the fresh flowers into it, people walking into my home will smell the fragrance of the lilies and just from a distance think that the whole thing is fresh. And the other thing I've got here are some little berries. I love to use berries because they're sort of like one of those forms that like connects everything together. So easy processing. So I'll leave those into the end. Right, the first thing to do is, if you are using artificial, don't forget that the leaves come in a box from China, and they need to be moved and manipulated so that they do look as if they are fresh. So what I do is I just turn everything down before I start and lay everything out on your work surface before you start. And remember that this is going to be like a handheld, and by that I mean that everything I touch is all going to be just held in my hand and to the end, and then it's going to go into the jar. So the leaves are going to become my collar, and I'm just going to position those in like a ring or a collar. I call it a collar, but by that I actually mean a ring. So they all go into my hand like so. And if you're a bit stuck on how long to make everything at this stage, just put it down onto the bench and then just make sure that all your stems are at one length. Now with the wisteria, I'm now going to just insert that down in amongst those leaves, and I'm going to have some a little bit longer and some a little bit shorter than the others. That one can go into there. And if you find that the leaves are moving, don't worry about that. Just get your hand in there and just move it around. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll put another one into there and put those all down like so, and then that can go into there. Now I can manipulate these to make them a bit longer or shorter once I get them into the container. Now with the orchids orchids. I've only got 3 of those, so I'm going to put one there and then come around to equal distance to the other side and put the next one in, and then, so I've got equal distance or like a triangle between that one and this one. Oh, and then this one is going to go down into there like so, and as I said, I can adjust and manipulate these as I go through. Right, I've got 3 lilies. Now the other thing that I've done here is the wisteria, when it grows, droops, so have that sows and allow it to droop. The orchids usually grow up and then drop down as well. So I've gone from a fine texture to the orchids, which are a little bit denser in form, and then these lilies are quite heavy, so I'm going to put those into the middle. As I said, I've only got 3 of those, so I will manipulate, place and position those so that that too is like a triangle. So I've got one going that way, one going that way, and I'll bring that into there like so, and then it's just a matter of holding them all in my hand and then just placing those into the container just like so. Now, as I said, if I want to, I can bring some of these out. That bit there is damaged, so I will cut that off now because I don't want to be able to see that. And then it's just a matter of going around and manipulating and pulling out the flowers that you want to be focusing on. So I'll bring that out to there and I'll leave that one there. Now with the berries, it's just a matter of getting those, and where I've got little holes, just plugging those in there. I put one there. That lily there is too far down, so I'll just bring that out like so, and I'll bring another berry into there, and then another one around and into there. And if I want these to be a little bit higher, it's just a matter of doing that to bring those out. It doesn't look nearly as nice as when I first did it, but that's okay. Now the other thing, if you want to add another little bit of texture, I'm going to put this onto the seagrass mat, and I'm just going to, what I've done now is I've just got the rope and then run that around the bottom there, and I'll just bring that around to there like so, so that that all just ties into the base. And by doing that, what I'm doing is I'm just covering up some of those ends. You can still see a stem down the bottom, but I think that with the stems coming down there, this around the bottom, this texture here is connecting in with the texture that I've got there. Now, if I'm doing this for a function like a wedding, I would use much, much taller glass container. And the other thing that I do is I would probably put a leaf around the exterior. Sorry, let me start again. What I would do is I would cut all the stems so that they were about, I don't know, 2 to 3 inches long. Then fill this with water, and then I would use a leaf like this one here, and I would actually glue or bind a couple of leaves onto the top portion of my container as I've placed it here, so that you don't see those little cut stems, and then fill it up with water. The other reason I like to do that is because at a function, if you've got anything that's visually in the road, it can make it really difficult for people having a conversation across the table. So making the vase really high, filling it with water, it's there but it's not there, and it's only a little bend that you've got to have, as opposed to I can't see you. So easy designing using tall, using big flowers, because they are quite big and visually big, heavy flowers, but you know, tall flowers into a tall container, easy peasy. I hope you've enjoyed that, and because I have enjoyed demonstrating. If you've got any questions or you'd like me to help you with anything, please don't hesitate to drop me an email and I will help where possible. Thanks for watching. I'll see you another day.